Hello, 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 everyone. Letting you all hop into our webinar. Welcome, welcome. Super excited to see all of you. Hey, Jeremy. Hi, Mike. Today's webinar is all about our latest releases. Super excited to show you all these new changes, these new updates in RealScout. You all should be Follow-Up Boss users or someone, I guess, potentially wanting to use Follow-Up Boss. But you're Follow-Up Boss and RealScout users. You are hopefully seeing a ton of engagement from RealScout, using Follow-Up Boss to organize all of that. Today won't be a training. It'll be more of a here's what we have, but I will, of course, add a little training in there. I can't help it. But welcome, welcome. Feel free yes, hello everyone. Feel free to say hello in the chat, or put where you're from, maybe how long you've been practicing real estate. If you've won any listings with RealScout, if you've helped someone buy a home with RealScout, I'd love to hear it. We have a ton of our support coaches in the chat as well to help you as I'm talking. So happy to hear any of your guys' feedback while we're in the webinar. Just letting people hop in. So we have quite a few of you joining today. So just letting everyone join before we get started. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Ooh, Chris, I just had one close last month where the conversation was started because of auto nurture. Woo, Chris. Great. Hello, everyone. Hi, Duke. Welcome to RealScout. Good to see you. Hey, Shane. All right, we're going to get started in just a little bit. I'm just letting everybody get filled in because we had over 400 people register for this webinar. So I want to be sure that everybody can hop in. Of course, if you did sign up, you will be getting a recording after the webinar. So that doesn't mean get off of here. That means you're going to get a recording after that you can share with your friends. But please stay on to learn about all of the new changes that we have at RealScout. Just letting people flow in. Thank you all again for joining. Feel free to put where you're from in the chat or say hello, a quick hello. Any feedback or success stories, always welcome. So feel free to put those in the chat as well. Or you guys can always email our support team, support@realscout.com, to share feedback, ask questions, whatever you'd like. Welcome, welcome to everyone. All right. Okay, Travis, sorry. All right. So today for our webinar, we are going to be talking about the latest releases at RealScout and how you're going to be using them with your follow-up boss. So again, this is specifically for FUB Scouts, so follow-up boss and RealScout users. If you are intending on, purchasing follow-up boss in the future, whatever, great. Definitely stick around, but this is specific for follow-up boss and RealScout users. So I'm going to go over today some new releases for leadership, although I already had a webinar on Tuesday for all of the team or brokerage leaders that goes over that way more. So I'm not going to dive too deeply into that today. And then we're going to talk about our latest releases that apply to everyone, which are how you can clean up your database using Follow-Up Boss and RealScout, new custom fields and new tags. So that is super exciting. And I want to wrap up with the importance of your workflow in FUB and RealScout and the setup. 1 to 2 days of setup and ironing out that workflow can really guarantee your ROI from both of these investments. So some of you have invested personally, some of you, your teams have invested in RealScout. So it's really important that you do a little bit of work right up front to make sure that you are able to get the most out of these two systems. So super excited to talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and start with the latest releases for leadership. Although again, some of you may not have these reports, some of you may not have these tools, but I'm just going to go over this really quickly since we want to make sure that you have all of the data. So some of the latest releases in your manager tools, again, you had to have a management permissions on your account. You have to be a team leader or brokerage leader in order to see this. If you are and you don't have this, please reach out to our support team and we can get that added. But if you go to manager tools, reports, you can now see our updated reports. So you would have contacts and alerts, site interactions, and email activity all within your RealScout reporting. There is all of this reporting as well in Follow Boss. So some of this you would be able to see this based on RealScout engagement, but this is so specific to RealScout and kind of what your leads are doing. Again, you have to have no, it's for everyone, Brian. You can team whomever, but this specific reporting is for any leadership, anybody in a leadership role, and manager tools would be available to you. So I just want to go over that because it's really great information there. And maybe later on for solo agents, we would be releasing something like this, but for now, this is mainly for team leaders, brokerage leaders who have manager tools on their left-hand side. The other releases for managers, specifically for managers, is that you can update office settings for your agents. So you can turn on templates. Later, you're going to be able to adjust auto nurture settings. So there are, if you go to manager tools, on the left-hand side, manager tools, offices, using the 3 little dots, you can update settings for the whole office. So just want to call that out. Okay. Now we'll get into the good stuff, which is what you guys came here for. Database cleanup with our new custom fields and tags in RealScout. And we did send you a newsletter about this stuff. So it's all available. It's also available on our support site. So we'll be putting this this link in the support in the chat window now. However, we have new tags. We have 3 new tags that are going to help you clean up your database. We have always provided you with 8 tags. So these 8 tags here have already always existed, or well, some of them are, I guess, new from November, but the rest have always been in RealScout. So these top 8, a RealScout HVA viewed, home valuation viewed, home valuation message, market activity viewed, property saved, property viewed 3 or more times, message sent, RealScout showing request message, RealScout open house info viewed. These have been in your follow-up boss, and I'm hoping that you guys are tracking those, whether it's with smart lists, setting up automations around these, but these have been in your FUB. The 3 latest releases are RealScout email validation failed. As you all know, when a lead is added to RealScout, we are going to put that lead through an email validation process. If that lead happens to fail it once, then we're going to send it through a secondary email validation process. So if that process fails, that lead will be tagged RealScout email validation failed. If the lead is getting their emails rejected, then we will tag them RealScout email rejected. If the lead has reported spam, then we will tag the lead RealScout email spam reported. Okay. So what do I suggest you do with these? I would suggest that you go over to your People's tab on FUB and create a database cleanup. You can name it whatever you want, smart list. And that smart list is going to include all 3 of those tags. What you want to do is make sure that none of these leads have viewed properties or, opened emails, which I'm going to show you in a minute how you could do. But here I can see everybody that has some issue or some one of these tags in here. You're going to want to check, have they looked at properties? Did I spell their email correctly? Maybe that's why it's getting rejected or it's invalid. So go through that list, clean it up. And then using our new actionable tags, you can archive the contact. So in RealScout, we have 3 buckets. We have a nurtured bucket, which means that they're actively receiving emails from RealScout. We have an awaiting nurture bucket. Oh, just to call it out, nurtured also means that they count against this number. So you guys have nurtured contacts and you have a max that you can hit, right? Your team might have a max, or your broker might have a max that they've provided for everyone, or you as an individual agent have purchased X amount. You're using X amount here, right? So nurtured means that your use of these nurtured contacts is X, okay? So nurtured contacts, people that you're paying for, I guess, essentially you can say it that way. Awaiting nurture is anybody that nothing has happened with them yet. They're kind of sitting there in a limbo. And then archived means that they were once previously nurtured and maybe you've cleaned them up and put them in this archive bucket. You're no longer paying for these contacts. So awaiting nurture and archived, you're not paying for them. Nurtured, you're paying for them, or your team leader or your brokerage are. Okay. So using these RealScout archive contact, I can move the lead from a nurtured state where I'm paying for them to a archive state where I'm no longer paying for them. Okay, so if you want to make that list, figure out who actually needs to be removed from that list of nurtured contacts, then you would move them. You can tag them RealScout archive contact, and that will take them out of the first bucket and move them over to archived. Okay. The other option is, let's say I move someone, I just helped someone purchase their home. So they were in a buyer stage. And then I moved them in follow-up boss from buyer to closed stage. When I move them from buyer stage to closed stage, I want to automatically add the tag RealScout disable listing alerts. And then maybe I'm going to add their address into FUB, and that's going to create a home value alert for them. Maybe I don't want to do that right away. Maybe I want to wait a month to get them set up on a home valuation. Because remember, once they're done buying that home, you need to stay on top of them with a long-term nurture, which can now be the home valuation alert, right? They were once purchasing a home, now they're done. So we're going to RealScout disable listing alerts. And then in a month, I'm going to tell a follow-up boss to remind me, hey, go set them up on a home value alert. Okay, so you can use this disable listing alert tab or tag to turn off their listing alerts and then later put them on a home valuation alert. That's one way that I've heard agents are using this. if you have other feedback on how you might use that RealScout disable listing alerts, please let us know. Send it out into the Facebook FUB community. Make a little video. We could definitely share that. But you can use that in whichever way you'd like. The other option would be RealScout disable all alerts. And that would turn off all of their alerts, but not remove them from the nurtured contacts, if that makes sense. So it would disable all of their alerts, but it wouldn't remove them from the nurtured contact bucket like archive contact would. So in this case, maybe you want to, maybe they've asked you to pause alerts for a bit and you want to pause them there and then later on go and turn them on to alerts. Okay. So you can definitely use that whichever way you'd like. But these new actionable tags are going to be really, really helpful, again, for database cleanup. Okay. And we also have our latest custom fields. So these custom fields are going to give you guys a lot more information on these teams or on your leads, I'm sorry. So in the custom fields, we now have RealScout total emails received. So how many emails have you actually sent to them? We have our RealScout home value alert views count. How many times have they looked at their home value alert? How many times have they looked at their market activity alert? And how many properties have they viewed? Also, when was the first time that they received an email from RealScout? Okay, when was the first time that they received an email from RealScout? So what you can do with these custom fields is, again, if I go to our People's tab over on Follow Up Boss, and I want to do some cleanup in my database. So I'm going to look at people that I've emailed more than 10 times. So they've received, here I have RealScout total emails received is greater than 10. And they have viewed less than one property in my RealScout. So these people, I've emailed them several times, but they have not engaged with RealScout with viewing properties, or, I mean, maybe they've opened an email. You would have to go into RealScout to see that. However, they haven't actually engaged with the platform. So if I need to make some space in my nurtured contacts, I can take these out, maybe put them in a pond, maybe put them in a different list, like have not engaged after 10 emails from RealScout, whatever it may be. But in this case, you can definitely see who has engaged and who has not. Another thing, who has engaged a whole heck of a lot, and I haven't been following up with them, right? So I would say they have viewed is greater than 1. They have tons of property views. Have I engaged with them recently? Have I helped them recently? Remember, in RealScout, or in Follow Up Boss, we're tagging them if they've saved or viewed something 3 or more times, or if they've saved a property. But you might have a lot of people that have viewed 1Z, 2Z properties. Maybe they're getting an email every day and they're looking at a new property every day. Are you tracking those people? You can do that now with these custom fields. You've always been able to do that no matter what, because you can look at, last active in your FUB, default, recently active leads. You've always been able to track that here, but now you can do that just a little bit deeper with these custom fields from RealScout. Okay, so using all of this is going to help you track engagement and make sure that you guys are keeping up with what your clients are doing. Okay. So now I want to ask you guys a question about your smart list, your automations. Are you guys using it? So I'm going to put a poll in Zoom. Do you have smart lists and automations set up in Follow Up Boss? And are you using them? Do you have smart lists set up in FUB to track RealScout engagement? Whether you set them up, whether your team lead or broker lead has set them up, and are you actually using them? If you're not using them, if you haven't gotten them set up yet, we have resources for you to get those set up. So in the master class, which is always available to you guys on the support site, the master class is always available to you. As a reminder, on the integrations page, on the integrations tab on the left-hand side, in your FUB integration, the master class is always here. You guys can always spend some time with me and look at that master class, but it's always here as well. But in this master class, I have steps 7 and step 6, which will show you and even give you templates on how to create automations, how to create smart lists using RealScout data that we push to Follow Up Boss. So I am hoping that you guys use it. Looks like it's kind of split. The highest one is no, but I will set them up. Oh, you guys, please go ahead and use these two different classes, step number 6, step number 7. I'm telling you right now, 1 to 2 days of getting your CRM, which is Follow Up Boss, set up for RealScout engagement and whatever other product you guys are using. I'm sure you've purchased like a million different tech stack options in there, but 1 to 2 days of getting that set up is going to get you so much ROI. Okay, so please, please go in there. Please get them set up. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll now. Thank you for answering that question for me. I'll share the results for you guys there. But it's really interesting. You have to get those things set up so that way you guys can easily track hand raisers, your priority list, and now clean up your RealScout and Follow Up Boss. Okay. I want to share some other resources with you, which is this really great ebook that Lee Adkins from Amplified Solution put together for us. There are excellent automations in here that you can use. If you're not able to set up automations or templates in Follow Up Boss because you're not an admin, please share this with your team leader or your brokerage leader for their own knowledge. This is a wonderful, wonderful resource. There's literally links that you can click to easily set these up in here. So please go ahead and take those, download this. The link is being put in the chat. Download this ebook and check these out. But awesome automations in here. Again, we also have our RealScout Follow Up Boss masterclass available to you guys. Okay. So again, it's super important that we get our Follow Up Boss set up with smart lists, automations, so that you guys can do what you want. You guys can go sell real estate. You guys can go help people buy homes. Your Follow Up Boss and your RealScout are all there to work for you, not to give you a headache. But you have to spend a couple of minutes, like a day getting these things set up. So super excited for all of you who answered that you were not using them to commit to doing that today or tomorrow. I hope that you guys go in there and do that. But I'm happy that you guys are all now learning about our tags, our latest tags that will help you clean up your RealScout, and these actionable tags, which help you do it all in Follow Up Boss. So you can do all of this in Follow Up Boss. You don't have to go into RealScout to do a good chunk of this. I even made a video for you all about how to do this. So please go ahead and check that out. I'm going to open it up to questions in these last 5 minutes. Feel free to ask some questions. Have anything that I can help with or our support team can help with, but those are the latest changes to RealScout. There's going to be a ton of other things that you can do. Jose Perez, you're asking, RealScout has team accounts. Yes, we do. We do have team accounts. Jose, if you have a team and you wanted to sign up, you can reach out to sales@realscout.com. Sales@realscout.com, and they will help you. Yeah, no problem. All right, guys. Any questions? Feel free to throw them in the chat. I have a couple of questions. Yeah, you can totally ask Brian. It's up open to all of you, whatever questions you'd like, or you can reach out to support@realscout.com with any specific questions. One quick tip is, I've been promoting this a lot for Fub Scouts. You all have an app. You guys all have an agent app that you can access in either of the app stores. Go to the app stores, download that. And you guys can share, you all have your own custom app links within that app. And in the app, there is, if you click on contacts and click the plus sign, each one of you are going to see this send invites to try mobile app. And each one of you will have your own custom app links. Copy this invitation and save it into a text or email Fub template. And every time you add someone new to Follow Up Boss and RealScout, shoot out that notification. Hey guys, here is my app. Go ahead and share that, or go ahead and download it. I'll put this article in the chat room. You'll go to contacts in the agent app. This is specific to the agent app. Click contacts, hit the plus sign. You'll see the send invites, and every single agent has their own app link. Copy, paste into Follow Up Boss text or text template or email template. Brian, recommended frequency of home value alerts and market activity alerts for homeowners. 1 month, every month. Every month. If you see that I don't know, if they're pretty ready to like sell their property, I would make that like twice a month, right? To just remind them that there's money on the table. Any improvements on reverse prospecting on your listings? How to auto message other agents with potential buyers. Now I have to type each message separately. Frank, the reason why we do that, the reason why we don't allow you to email blast all of your fellow colleagues is because do you want to get email blasted with those emails from your colleagues? I would say the answer is no. So yes, it is a little bit of extra work. I understand that it's extra work. However, it's meant to keep you on top of your listings, make sure that you're, giving some attention to these other agents, your colleagues, that don't have a lot of time to check these messages. So we won't be changing that option, but I appreciate the feedback. I understand we get that a lot. The reason why is so that we're not spamming your colleagues. I know we're gonna be over time in just a minute, but I'm happy to stay on. Do you recommend using a listing, Brian, do you recommend using a listing alert for sellers for new active and closed listings in their neighborhood that are similar to their home instead of using the market value alert? I would do all three. A home value alert, a market activity alert, and I mean, if you can make it relevant enough, a sold alert, right? They are going to get like a nicer dashboard view in a market activity that's just general for their neighborhood. In a home value alert, it's going to be specific to their property, but you can totally set them up on a sold alert. I would just make sure that you make it relevant to them, right? Is a home value alert similar to HomeBot? I don't know exactly what HomeBot looks like. Our home value alert looks like this. Karen, make sure that you set yourself up as a home buyer or home seller and put yourself on some example alerts, right? Make sure that you know what your clients are doing in RealScout. So go set yourself up with your own property and see what our home value alerts look like. But this is what they look like. We have the two different valuations, buyer audience by price range, and then comparables. So I don't know if that's, I don't know what HomeBot looks like, but probably not this. The email should be auto-filled. Maybe we might have that where maybe we're using AI or something to autofill those messages. So potentially, Frank, potentially. What about instead of email blast, we could create some sort of template? Yeah, I hear you. Templates, AI, understood there. Any chance we can get a mass email for reverse prospecting to those agents who have matches? No, we're not going to mass email agents, but the template and all of that sounds that sounds interesting. So we'll give that feedback to our team. Ash, thank you for adding the number of times a client opens an email. It would be great. All this feedback is awesome. We're taking a look at it. You guys are welcome. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have other questions, feel free to email support@realscout.com. I really appreciated your time. I hope it wasn't too long. I'm trying to do as many of these in a quick way. Whenever we have these really big releases, these are huge releases. These are big. You will absolutely get a copy of this webinar. It will be emailed to you after, as most webinars always are. So you guys are good to go. Any questions, feel free to email support@realscout.com. Jose, shoot an email to sales@realscout for that team account. But thank you all so much. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye, everyone.